Hi, I'm Crystal McKenna, Realtor with Fathom Realty. And thank you for coming here today. And today I have with me Nikki, Hauser with Sunstreet Mortgage. And then we also have Jeannine Rick with Primerica. And this is our second episode for Things Matter. And our theme has been finances. And so before we get started, again, I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves. Nikki, I'll let you go first.
Hey everyone, Nikki with Sunstreet Mortgage. Super excited to be here for the second time. There's a lot of really good stuff we have in the works to give everybody a little bit of information about how to kind of manage what's going on in this disturbance. So follow us, come join us, ask questions. It'll be real good. We're here for you. So welcome.
Janine? Good. Thank you, Nikki. Nikki, how long have you been in mortgages?
Almost 4 years now.
Wow, that's great.
So, yeah, I've seen a little bit of everything, and I've done hundreds of different loans as an assistant and through my own loans, and so I kind of have seen it all, and especially now.
Right.
things they are changing.
Exactly, things are changing every day. Well, I'm Jeannine Rick with Primerica Financial Services. I'm a financial coach that helps people reach their financial goals. And I love that I'm here with you and that that we're sharing this with you, because people need to know about money, regardless of whether it's an uptime or downtime. People need to know how money works. And I hope to inspire people to make the right decisions about money and not let the emotions get involved, because money is just money. And remember that. So we're going to go from that, and then we're going to teach some concepts to help you make the right decisions as we go. These are concepts that Primerica has taught me, the bank hasn't taught me, my family hasn't taught me, and my schooling, high school and college. I have a degree in biology, but nobody taught me about money, the most important thing. And so we're just going to recap about the budget. We talked about budget last time, but that's the most important thing to do right now in this crazy time, because it's going to tell you what your money's doing and what's coming in and what's going out. So why do we budget? Because it sees that where our spending is going, where our income's coming in from, and it will help us decide if we're buying on impulse and get in control of spending. We're happy to make money, but we're also happy to make and spend it, right? But what happens at the end of the month? There's nothing left at the end of the month. How can we live like that? So we're going to help inspire with all the concepts that we teach. And we'll go into the debt stacking, because that's what's happening today, is that people are at home bored, right? Sometimes, not all the time, but they're shopping online and their credits are building up now. And if they're not working, their credit's building up more. Definitely. So this is a simple concept. Some people call it debt snowballing and things like that. So typical family, they have a couple credit cards, they have a mortgage and a car loan. So right here, they're spending $27.20 on their debts. So we're going to take the first credit card, we're going to put that amount towards that card, we're going to pay that off the first time. And then that same amount of money that we're paying off that credit card goes to the next one, to the next credit card. Once that's paid off, that total money is going to go to the next loan or the car payment. And this is just a formula that comes in our system, our financial needs analysis. I don't figure this out. This is part of our computer system, because everybody's situation is going to be different, right? And so on. So now you notice the mortgage is paid off last. And with that same amount of money, we'll go to the next slide. And this is the piece that I want to share with you, because this has really blew my mind. And in this situation, this family was debt-free 14 years sooner, and they saved $130,000 or more in interest. They still had a little bit of interest left because their payments, right? But they had paid the same amount of money over time. Now, a lot of times out there, and there's a lot of debt solutions out there, but they don't have a time established to it. They don't have a debt freedom date. People are just shooting it like to the dartboard and they're just guessing, basically. So that's how we help families with that. And then, why are people not saving? Because they're paying their debts. So I'm going to make a rule for yourself and pay yourself first. Whether it's 10% to pay yourself first, so 10% of every dollar goes into a savings account or investment account for yourself. We're so accustomed to paying other people first, like your bills, your car payment, your mortgage, everything else. But why are we so last? You're the most important person in our life. So let's go through the rule of 72. I'm going to share you this concept that really blew my mind. So this is a rule that tells you how your money doubles. So you take the rate of return, divide it into 72. It tells you how many years your money doubles. I don't know who developed this, but Albert Einstein took a part in really expanding this to everybody. So 3%, 372, your money is going to double every 24 years. So we'll take $10,000 just as an example. That $10,000 at 3% is going to turn into $40,000 in 48 years. Now at 6%, that's 6 into 72, it's going to double every 12 years. So that same $10,000 is going to turn into $160,000. We would have thought that it would just turn to $80,000 from $40,000, right? At the end of 40 years. But this is what compounding interest does. So take a look at 12%. 12 into 72, your money is doubling every 6 years. So that same $10,000 turns to $2.5 million. That's a big difference from $40,000. And you're better off in retirement now. So every million helps, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So think about what we're saving today. We're not driving as much. We're at home. We're doing things. We're stay-at-home order now in this coronavirus. So we're saving money on going out to eat. We're saving money on gas. And if we're women, we like to go get our nails done. We go for a massage and things like that. So add that up. It's about $10,000 in a year. The money that we're saving right now in these past couple months, if we did that for the whole year, it would be between $9,000 and $10,000 on the upper end for women and lower end of the men, and dry cleaning and things like that. So that's another way to look at the $10,000. You know, also too, somebody who spends in a normal world, in our normal lives, 27, 40 cents a day going out to Target or the new gadget at Best Buy and things like that. If somebody spends $27 a day for a year, that's going to add up to $10,000.
That's 3 fast food meals a day for somebody who maybe doesn't cook at this
Oh yeah,
point.
absolutely. And see, we're just wasting our money out the door. It's just, our money disappears. What's going to happen with that stimulus check or your tax refund? Somebody gets a tax refund every year, it goes away just like that. Why not put it in the rule of 72 and take care of your retirement for a better future? Now, my other question around this was, what happens if I have a credit card? My credit card is like 25%. The credit card works against you in the rule of 72. So the banks are getting us a credit card at 25%, and then on the other end, on the lower end, our savings account is 0.01%. So the banks have us in a double negative. This is also called bank.
72 applies to the banks too, because if they're charging us 26% interest, how quickly are they doubling on our money?
Exactly. They know this rule to the T, and they're not teaching us this. And that's what burns me up. That's why I want to teach people, everybody, about money, how money works.
Yeah.
Now, Janine, I have a question because I know you and I've talked in the past. Would you say those who want to pay off their debt, their biggest mistake is not choosing a date to aim for?
Right. When we put the information in our system, in our platform for the financial needs analysis, the computer will pull up all the interest rates, all the the balances, and puts that all in there, and it will define a freedom date for you according to what all that information is. Because your information is going to be different than my information. And maybe somebody else's in their 60s are going to have different debts because they're paying maybe for the grandkids and things like that. And so everybody's going to have a different form of debt. But we've seen people have $30,000 in debt. We have seen people no debt, and we have seen people in $10,000 debt. Now we see people that are making six figures and $30,000 a year. Sometimes the six-figure earner doesn't have any savings, but the person who's making $35,000 a year has a bunch saved because they're just prioritizing where the money goes and things like that. Definitely.
I can actually attest to this, the debt stacking or the debt snowballing. I got to a point in life where things got really expensive in California, and kind of all the cash that was coming in paid my apartment rent, and everything else was going on to credit. When I got out here to Arizona, I kind of looked at my finances and I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do to get out of this? And I applied that rule, and it was kind of what seemed so overwhelming that I was never going to get out of that debt really went down fairly quickly and made it seem a lot more manageable. So I am a testament to getting out of debt with that method.
That's so great. I'm so happy for you. And some people never get out of debt at the end of their lives. And that's pretty amazing. Yeah. And also too, with this rule of 72, I turned it into the latte effect. Somebody who likes Starbucks or Dutch Brothers, they spend $5 a day on coffee, and it could be more, 7 if they buy food, or 10 if they buy food for family or whatever. But let's say $5 a day from Monday through Friday, that's 5 days a week. That's $25 a week, and it turns into $1,300 a year. That $1,300 that year for 12% is going to turn into $332,000 in 48 years. Now, we don't typically start saving at 0 age. Our parents didn't know how to start a savings account when we had a Social Security number. And that's okay. They just didn't know. What you don't know is what you don't know, basically. Now, what if somebody starts saving at 15? If they're teenagers, they can be retired at 50 years old.
That don't sound bad.
That's right.
Right? Yeah, I wish that was me. Right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, and the other thing too, if somebody starts at 20 years old, starting to save, in 48 years, they're going to be 68. So they're in a better situation now.
Now, is there an average amount of time, like say for instance, for me, I got out of that debt, and I'm kind of at the point where now I'm starting to figure, okay, investments and savings and how to plan, but I'll admit I'm 34 years old. And so I'm just getting started on that portion of my life. Is there like an average amount of time? I guess not really, because it depends on how much you put away, but following like, as far as timing for putting away money, what kind of time frame are you looking at if you were to start following some of these rules? 30 years, 40 years? Am I retiring at 100?
No. We'll figure out what the other piece that we can do is figure out your FIN number. And that's your financial independence number based on your timeline. Definitely, because that's individualized to what you want and what you need at that time. And everybody's going to be different. Definitely. Where you start is where you start. I started at 30. And some people can start at 20. I didn't think about it in my 20s, I started then at 30. But if somebody waited, let's talk about the cost of waiting. So let's say somebody saves $200 a month with the savings at 9% for 40 years. And they start at 25 to 65. So somebody at 25 in 40 years, they're going to have $943,000 if they're doing consistently.
And that's how much savings a month?
They're doing $200 a month.
200 a month, and that's doable for a lot of people. Not everybody, but.
And even half of that would be still good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But if somebody waits a year and now they're 26 years old, it's costing them $83,000.
Wow.
That's a different way of looking at it.
Yeah, because now you're a year older, you have to put more each month to make up the difference. So if somebody waits 5 years at 30, like I was age 30. So is this example of 200 a month, they would have had 592,000 instead of 943. So it's costing them 350,000.
That's a pretty
because
penny.
you waited that 5 years. So it puts things in perspective, and that's what we teach people.
Yeah.
One
I
of
think
the
it's all about taking a step back and really looking at all these numbers and what they mean to you, and figuring out your plan to not waste any more time.
And at the same
Exactly.
time, you're also saying it's not too late to start
No.
saving.
Right.
Because we don't want to discourage people saying, oh, I've missed 5 years of that point. Is you'll actually work with them to find out, okay, this is where we need to be. This is the action plan. And it's individualized to them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, if they want to make more money and make an extra 500 to 1,000 a month, we can put that away with it, with their investments. And it's if people want to do that. And we are looking for people too to work part-time with us. So if people are looking for a plan B and just they have a shortfall in their month expenses and their income, we can help with that. Or if they want a career change, or they love what they do, they just need to make up the difference. And some people love helping others, so we can help both people that way as well. Definitely. And you know, people need to have a financial coach to show them, and people need to have a plan. We don't plan to fail, right? It's just we don't have the information to plan with.
Fail to plan.
Yeah, absolutely. And the education is amazing.
I'm really happy to know about this rule of 72 because I just recently found a high yield savings for myself. That's giving me, I want to say like 2.25%. So I'm interested to see, where, what these numbers mean for me in my personal life.
Mm-hmm.
Because I hadn't heard of this particular rule myself. So that's awesome info. Thank you.
Yeah, it's an eye opener for a lot of people.
Janine, how long have you been doing this for people out there so that they don't think that this is something that they just found on the internet? This has science behind it. I mean, there's a process to it. It's not just random things putting out there. And
Right.
you've been doing this for a while now. Give some background knowledge on yourself and on the business.
Yeah, so I've been with the business over 10 years with them, and I love learning all the ins and outs of how money works. The concept of the Rule of 72, it's been around forever. The banks just kept it as a secret. That's the unfortunate about it. That it's been out there for all this time. But the company's been around since 1977. But it's been in the works in the late 60s because we saw there was a real problem in people's finances and the financial education. People were lacking that. So that's how the company got started at that time. And we just grew from that. We grew through referrals, and people were just starving for this information. And that's how we grew, definitely. And like I said, I didn't learn this in school. I have learned it all here.
Yeah, you don't. I've always said, like, why don't they have like a financial literacy course that we have? I can remember my mom pulling out her checkbook and writing down every single transaction. And I kind of learned a little bit from that, but can't say that's always how I manage my finances. But that's also going back to like, how honest do we want to be with ourselves with our spending habits? And I think maybe it's a step in a direction that it's, it's a good step in the direction, just that honesty and that reviewing, and it's there in numbers on paper right in front of your eyes to see.
Exactly. That's what the budget is. It's the truth teller of all sorts. It says it like it is.
There's
Whether or
no
not we like
denying
it.
numbers.
Like it or not, right? Is that what you said?
Absolutely.
Well, I just know, and I know Nikki can attest to this. I mean, working in real estate and mortgages and, of course, in financials, a lot of times money is a big, dark secret to people. They don't want to come forward. We want to paint this life that we could do anything that we want, but it also has a cost to it, and sometimes that cost is stacking up the debt. And a lot of times I've seen people where they're in debt, and after a while it's like they give up, so let's just incur more debt. I think with you showing people the stacking, it's going to help people realize, okay, yes, it's may not be moving as fast as they want, but it's moving. And I think once they pay off that first one and start applying it to the second one, then they'll start seeing it do that snowball effect for you. And then what's nice is once they do pay off their debts, it's not too late for them to start saving up money, whether it's in their savings or putting it back into investment. And one thing I like that you said at the beginning is, yes, we pay everybody else, but we forget to pay ourselves. In the end, we're the ones that have to live with ourselves. Now, I would rather live at that 48 mark compared to the other marks. And so I think we have to kind of learn to be a little selfish and say, no, this has to go to my savings account first.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I do have a question, maybe for somebody who has, rather than having like multiple cards, and they just have like maybe one large debt that's a credit card, or maybe two large debts. Of course, you could use, there's two, you could do the stacking, but is there like a double the minimum, or how do you work that out? Maybe if somebody just has $10,000 on one credit card, there's no debt stacking for them, like should they be doubling their minimum payment, tripling it? Where does that come into play?
Well, would they have a car payment and a house payment?
No, let's just say it's just debt they're trying to get out of to get qualified.
Yeah, so then it just maybe making it 2 payments a month, or 3 payments a month, or whatever they can do for that one credit card, because that's a great problem to have. Then it's just one credit card. And yeah, absolutely, we'll find something that works for them.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So Janine, if anybody has questions, they're able to contact you directly to set up an appointment for you to help them review their situation, correct?
Yes, they can reach me at 602-826-2992. They can text or call. We can set up a time on Zoom. We'll meet that way for now. And then, yeah, we'll talk about everything that needs to be taken care of, and we'll help you in every area that needs to be helped. Definitely.
And I know we do appreciate you coming forward and offering your services and educating us pretty much. And I hope everybody realizes they're not alone. Every American out there has some type of debt or delayed in savings as well.
Yes.
And when it comes down to it, and so I'm hoping people realize they're not alone and that there's still solutions out there, whether it's through you or start asking questions or learning to research things. And that's the whole purpose of the series, is to try and make people feel empowered, but also not to be intimidated from reaching out to experts.
Absolutely. It's hard to ask for help when you need it, and I understand that. And that's why we're here. I mean, we've been in those situations. A lot of people in my team in our office have been in tough situations financially, but we wanted to clean up our finances. So we want to help you as well. Definitely.
I think it's easier to take advice from somebody who's been in that position and come out of it, rather than somebody from the top saying, do this, do this, do this. Well, I was there with you. I was at that level. This is what I did, and it worked for me.
Right.
You understand the struggles.
Yeah. And I think for a lot of people, we're going to put these videos out. If you guys have questions that you maybe just didn't get a chance to ask here in the now, feel free to reach out to us. And any questions that you have that you just want to privately ask instead of putting them on public forum. I know a lot of people don't want to do that. Don't want to ask those questions, but we are all here for you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Now, next week, we do have an interesting subject. It's probably a touchy subject for the current times right now, and it is mortgages and forbearances. And so this is where Nikki gets to shine, and I'm sure it's not a subject that everybody likes to hear, but it is something that we think that the public needs to know about, the pros and cons of it. And so I'm looking forward to our series moving forward. And I appreciate you ladies teaming up with me for this. Any final thoughts?
I'm learning too, so I love it.
Yeah, I love sharing this information with other people. It just empowers me as well, definitely. And it's rewarding to see people change their lives.
Absolutely.
Well, like you said, this is not something that they teach you in high school, and the banks don't tell you this, and we rely on people such as Janine coming forward and say, hey, you're doing it wrong. Here's another avenue, kind of thing. And so we hope that everybody does find something out here to use that they could take away and share with other people. And we do encourage you to share the videos. And we also encourage you guys to reach out to us with any ideas or any topics that you're interested in that maybe we could touch on, or find an expert to touch on as well. Again, we are here to help everybody, and this is our way of giving back.
Yeah, or if you feel like you're an expert and you want to share with people too, reach out to them too. Thank you ladies so much.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.